Hello, 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 hello. Wherever you are on this mystifying planet we humans call Earth, I hope you are having a sensational day, evening, or night, wherever you are. My topic for the day is using the mysterious UV editor. Yes, the UV editor. If you're using the UV editor like me, I only started using it a couple days ago. We have begun to enter the higher rungs of life in this fantastic 3D package. So first, let me go to the UV editor. I'm in the UV editor. Now I have to make some subtle changes to it. I have to open up another window, and this window is going to be called I'm going to editor type, and this window is the shader editor. Let me zoom in as much as I can. And the shader editor, I use the principal BSD node and a material output node. If I click over here on a material button, the same content on that material button is located in the node, such as base color, subsurface color, etc. Alright, so now back to the UV editor. If you notice, as soon as you switch to the UV editor, most of its primary effects takes place in the editor mode. Now, if you look at it, nothing happened. Now, this is one of the programs in Blender where you have to put forth a lot of effort. You can't do anything. You have to basically set it up. All Blender give you is just that the window. They should have had the shader window, but I guess that's for another day. Now, I look at my cube, herald the cube, nothing has happened. But if you see over here in my window where I have the little check mark at, the blue check mark at, you have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 squares or cubes. I better call them these squares because they're two-dimensional. So if it's two-dimensional, you have 6 squares over there. If you look at my cube, this cube has 6 sides, and I'm not going to go through it because if you're using Blender, you have touched the cube before like a pair of dice. 6 sides. When you notice I switched off of it, I no longer see the cube in this. The squares in the editor windows. So for step 1, your cube has to be highlighted. Now, today I'm going to be making a simple cereal box. But before I do that, I have to put a texture or a material. I have to put a material on this cube. Now, to do that, I hope it don't frighten you. You have to go up here to the shader editor. They activate nodes. I know a lot of people in Blender, we don't like using nodes much because they seem daunting. You have to go to add, or you can hit Shift A, texture. I'm going to add image texture. Right here, I click. From there, I can click on new. I'll give it a title because my cereal box is going to be based off the Homer Simpson character. I call it Homer. Name Homer. I can choose any color. I don't see it affected much, but I'll just choose red this time. And leave it on alpha so we can have an alpha channel. The most important part of it is a generator type. You got blank, and right now it looks blank. The square is blank right now. You have blank. What happened? Oh, I guess I clicked in another window, so I have to make Homer again. Homer. You can leave it the width and height as it is. I guess you can make adjustments to that when you get more advanced with it. Right now, I'm just doing a basic tutorial. Alpha, leave it on alpha. I want to choose. Now, most of the time, most of us use UV grid. When I watched that UV grid, but nothing happened. I choose OK. Nothing happened. Now, in my editor, my UV window at the bottom, something has happened. At that checkerboard box. The checkerboard box, it just represents a picture. That's all it is. Nothing fancy. You can put any image there, but you just use the default UV grid. That's it. You can put any picture there. All right, so nothing happened in this window. To do that, you have to hit Z key, and you have to be something called material view. Clicked on it. Wait a couple seconds. Let's see what happened. I'm still waiting. I'm in material view. Still waiting. I'm gonna highlight it. Hey. Oh, I forgot. I have to go back to my my node window, and you have to connect the node. Usually yellow goes with yellow. It's connected, and boom. Look in this window right here, the largest window. You see my cube, got them little cubes on there. Them little cubes mean that my image from this, from the UV map, that's an image. My image will be concise. If I put a new photograph on there now, like a piece of wood, a piece of steel, cement, that is the UV grid is your test. It was saying whatever I put image on that UV grid, it will be consistent and nice throughout the cube. So let me click on, let me hit the number 3 over here in this window, and click on the side and grab it. You see, when I grab a side, you see in my my viewport window that is being distorted and changed. So the picture and the image, they go hand in hand, and basically it's a live image. It's not static. You move the image in a UV editor, it will change in the viewport. So it's dynamic. It's alive. All right, that's it. So we got that underway. Now I'm gonna go back to object mode. I want to start working on my my little cereal box. Object. I'm gonna scale on a Y. Cause you know a cereal box is rectangular, but scale on a Z. Okay, that looks like a nice size cereal box. And if you notice, on the edges, it's no longer uniform. The large rectangular surfaces, they still remain the same, but the edges are ununiform. That means my image will be stretched. It's best to have it in a cube shape. I'm going to say it again. To get the most out of your image, when you put it in the UV, it's best to have a little square. So I'm going to hit the N key. You see my scale values. 151 thousandths, 1 and 545 thousandths. So it's not consistent. So I have to click back over here. I'm going to hit Control A and apply the scale. Oh, I have to select it first. Select it, Control A, apply the scale, and you see everything is 1. But still, nothing has happened. To get an effect, you have to go back to the editor mode. I did that. Now, in some of the earlier videos I watched, this technique worked, but it didn't work for me. I'm going to hit U. That's the main key for UV. U. Unwrap. But the size is still the same. I discovered on my own, you have to click on each side. I clicked on this side, hit U, unwrap. You see? This is more squares now. You have to do it to each of your sides. Click that side. Click this side. Click that side and hit U. Now the size of the squares don't matter really. Long as it is a square. The square is going to be large or small. Long as it got that square shape. Okay. So now, I got this file. It's best to go to save. I'll save it. I will call it Homer Cereal Box. Let me save it in my correct folder. Bring the saves. Okay, it's saved. Alright, so let's move from here. Now, I'm going to highlight everything again. I'm going to hit unwrap. Now, look over here. It's not that nice cube anymore. So, it unwrapped in a way that I don't like. Now, I'm going to click on each of my sides. Let me go back to my viewpoint so I can definitely see. There's one side that's highlighted. Another. It looks square when it looks rectangular. That looks a nice size. But that don't. So when you get long distorted figures, you may have to adjust the UV map yourself by using something called seams. So to use seam, you have to be in edge mode. So let me click up here on edge mode. I'm going to click on this. Now I already did a practice run, so I know how the seam should work. Now I'm going to say seams is the thing that usually deter people from using the UV editor. Because they don't know where to put the seams at. I'll give an example. I'm going to give an example of what happened if you don't put the seams in the best location that you can figure out. Because we all have our preferences. I'm going to hit U. I'm going to choose seam. I'm going to choose, come down here to mark seam. I'm going to highlight it again. Hit U. Unwrap. And you see how it looks? It looks completely weird. Because I only marked 2 seams. Like I said, I believe placing seams is like an art form. It takes practice. So let me keep adding other seams to it. It takes practice to master seams. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. 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 I'm going to go back to U. Click on mark seam. I'm going to hit A. I'm going to hit the letter U again. Then I'm going to unwrap it. And you see it looks a lot better. My rectangles, my largest surface are the rectangles. I click on it. There's a rectangle. Another one. Another one. Right there. See, they all look nice and consistent. Right there. You know, some are a little bit larger than others, but for the most part, I can live with this. So let me go back and save it again. Save. Okay. So now, I want to try to put my rectangles in a type of order. So when I place the image on here of the cereal box, I know what from what. Alright, I'm going to call this my top surface. Okay, good. It's right up to the top. I'm going to call this my front face. But the face is part of, but I'm going to just drag it over here. Hit. Oh, you have to hit 3. Click on it. Drag it over here. Let me see what I can click on these both faces to get a good idea. Okay, it's right there. So you see how I'm learning how to do it. I clicked on 2 faces to get an idea of where my top face would be. So I'm going to just drag this down a little bit. I like that. So this is my top of the box. And this is going to be the front face of the box. Okay, so that's nice. I want this side right here. Okay, I want to make that my right side. So I'm going to click on this. And here. And I get an idea. This is going to be my right side. Grab it over. Put it to the right. So the thing about the UV editor, you basically say after you got your little UV little constructions in here, you basically have to still shape it the way you want. So I have my top right here. Okay. Next, I want to see where my bottom at. My bottom. Oh, good. I love that. The bottom is on the bottom. Good. Where's my back? Wait a minute. Wait. Here's my front. And here's my back. Okay, I want to move my back over some. G. Click on it, hit G. I have to hit the 3 key. And G. I want to grab it over some. So this is going to be my back. Alright. So I have my bottom. I have my back. I have my front of the box. I have my back of the box. I have this side to the right. I'm going to call this my left side. So I have to move that. Let me see. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to take this is my left side. Click on here. I'm going to click right here. I'm going to take this left side and move it right here. Okay, that's nice. So I have I'm only wearing up my sides now. I have the top, left side, right side, and the bottom. Okay, wonderful. So now I'm gonna have this video in a series in parts. I'm gonna make this part 1. So stay tuned right up for part 2. I'm gonna save it again. Alright, so part 2 is coming up because this may be a little bit lengthy.